The idea of a bucket list, you have to talk about relationships. You have to be careful because who are you making that amends for? Are you making it for you or for them? And sometimes amends can do more damage than good.
I see it more as reconciliation. It brings peace to both people involved in that type of situation.
I think it's definitely an important process for ourselves and letting go with, facing death as well as, moving on to whatever's next.
I love this bucket list plus one because it's really about focusing on the here and now and living every day the best
to the fullest,
and not having regrets. Welcome to In Good Company, Elder Care in Your Backyard. All right, welcome to In Good Company, Elder Care in Your Backyard. We are going to do something really, really different today. But first, I want to say hi to Spencer and Alex. And we have, Alex is like premiering today. It's like Alex Wallace has been our executive producer and do everything for us. And so he's joining us today to dive into kind of a cool topic. So we're going to walk through, and we want to bring you with us to go through a bucket list. And you might think, well, what's a bucket list? It's just a whole random bunch of stuff that you want to do before you pass away, as a thing you do. But there's more to it than that. So we hope you get a chance to listen in all the way to the end and really reflect as we're going through this conversation on your own bucket list. And maybe it might spark some conversations even at home, and maybe even make your own bucket list if you don't already have one. But before we dive into that, Spencer, Alex, how are you guys doing?
Doing great so far. Enjoying the fall weather. It's kind of like spring, then it'll be winter again, and it'll be back to fall. It's kind of all over the place, honestly.
It really is, but it's like one of the best falls we've ever had.
It's really nice. Time. Yeah, absolutely.
The weekend's going to be a little rough with it getting down in the 30s. But
it's going to be below 30.
It'll bounce back. We'll be in the mid 60s again next week. And it's like, all right, we'll get slapped in the face for 2 days and then just walk back out of it.
Just remind us how lucky we are. We don't live more north, I guess.
No, thank you.
A lot of craziness is going on right now at the time of recording. Today, the FAA sent out information to all the airlines that they're going to significantly force the airlines to cut their flights. I guess that's to cover the TSA and the air traffic control.
During the shutdown, about 4% of all airlines, all flights, 4% cut.
That's crazy.
And you can't forget about all the snafu that's going on, honestly, like with all the legal battles, how the judges ruled that they need to reinstate SNAP, and then now they've put in an executive petition to make sure that SNAP doesn't roll out again. So, I mean, there's a lot of weird stuff going on in the country at the moment. So
it is crazy. For those of you, and I'm going to run back to the flight thing real quick. For those of you, I did a travel show on how to travel with elderly, but also how to save money. There were some tips in there that might help with the current situation. So if you have an upcoming trip, it's really important to get that first flight of the day. So if you can get on that first flight, the chances of things getting delayed are still there, but they go down significantly if you can catch that first flight. Most of the airlines go off a spoke, so they have hubs throughout the United States. So if you're trying to get anywhere that's not a hub, you're going to go through that hub, and that's where things can go really wrong, because what happens is once one flight is delayed, then it delays a flight crew to get to the next flight, and it just starts this big domino effect. So just so you know, most of the major carriers will allow you, if they're canceled, regardless of the reason, you should be able to get a full refund back, that sort of thing. I don't know how long this is going to go on. I mean, it could roll into the holidays as far as we know. And so if you have flights planned over the holidays with family, might think of a backup plan of, road trip or something.
That's right. Alternate plans.
Do you guys have plans to leave for the holidays to go travel anywhere
Not
else?
outside the state, luckily. So I can just drive where I need to go, luckily.
That's
and
nice.
Not have to fly anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, all my family's around here too, so we won't be
very convenient.
Too far,
Yeah. Well, have you guys ever seen the movie Bucket List?
Yes.
I have
With
not.
Morgan Freeman in it.
Yeah.
I've not seen that. Is it really
Jack
good?
Nicholson.
Yeah.
So the plot of the movie, for those who haven't seen it, is there's these two old guys. One's fairly wealthy, very cynical. It played by Jack Nicholson, and he is in a room and with Morgan Freeman. They both find out they have terminal cancer, and they get to talking. And Morgan Freeman's really been kind of a quiet family man, never really did much adventuring. He worked his whole life, that sort of thing. And so they start talking and befriend each other, and they start talking about bucket list stuff. And Jack's like, you know what? I'm going to fund it and we're going to go do it. And they just go do all these adventures. And, the thing about that movie, the message of that movie is not to let anything, go by without trying to, enjoy some of your life. They had a terminal disease. I think the point of this podcast is for people who don't have a terminal disease, what might show up on that list. So we wanted to point out, we just had Matt Day and Jeanette on recently, and they are from the Hospice Foundation for Outreach, and they have this amazing program called Bucket List +1. We can put that up on the screen or whatever, but it just really goes into detail on what we wanted to do is sit down and go through our own bucket list today.
That'll be a lot of fun.
And while we do it, we hope you are kind of thinking about your bucket list and maybe get some new ideas from this conversation. And I think it's going to be fun.
Yeah. Do you want to hear how it got started?
Yeah, let's hear it.
So here's the origin story on paper. So the idea for Bucket List +1 began not in a boardroom, but in a college classroom here at Drury University in Springfield. Aaron Hotchkiss, then a student with a creative spark and a compassionate heart, developed the project under the mentorship of Dr. Regina Waters, who's now the Dean of Graduate Studies at Drury. Dr. Waters challenged her class with a bold mission: find a lighthearted, engaging way to start meaningful conversations about something most people avoid: end-of-life wishes and healthcare directives. The result, the Bucket List +1 program, a playful, thought-provoking tool designed to open up those deeply human discussions. So at the time, Dr. Waters was also serving on the board, what was called at that time the Hospice Foundation for Ozarks, now it's for Outreach, where the idea of funding the project through HFO grant took shape. For Dr. Waters, the work is deeply personal. Having lost her own mother and brother while still in college, she felt like this was a lifelong passion to do something about that and how to help other people with grace, courage, and connection. So the goal for Hospice Foundation for Outreach is simple: to get the conversation started, because once we start talking, we can start healing. And so this was the first initiative HFO took on that actually received a federal grant. So there's a little bit of backstory for you.
That's super
fascinating, honestly.
Yeah. So started in a college classroom, and now they're trying to actually make this go nationwide, which is pretty fascinating.
So did you guys already have a bucket list before we started this project?
No, not written down.
My wife and I have kind of been talking about things after, doing all the work we've been doing with the podcast. And we're like, man, we need to get our stuff in line too, even though we're younger. But we're like, we got to start somewhere, because if we don't start with something and something happens, it's like, where do things go? And it's like, we have to have those conversations. So we've been talking about some things, but not like digging in deep like this does.
Not digging in deep. I had a travel list, like places that I wanted to go, and it was just locations basically. But that was about as far as I ever got. And it wasn't done in the sense of like it was a bucket list.
It's more like a wish list. Like,
kind of like,
if
I wanted to go somewhere, because you kind of think, well, where would I go if I really could or whatever. So yeah. So how long did it take you to guys get through this?
Hour or two just to sit there and write it all out and really ponder on it.
Probably
honestly.
took me about 2 hours as well.
Yeah, because deep thoughts. I mean, a lot of really interesting categories on here. I mean, you got travel and adventure, food to try, people to meet, events or concerts to see, skills and hobbies you want to learn, fears to overcome. That was a tough one for me. I'm like, never really thought about that for a bucket list. Career goals, life goals, and then other goals. So that's kind of what it looks like right there. It's mine written down just a little bit. Not everything filled out fully, because there's still more to think about, but the gist of it's there. And I think it's such a great idea to get that conversation started.
Yeah. Did you guys talk about it with Rachel and Bailey?
Not yet. We're working on it at home. We were going to do it the other night, and then
Is
things
Bailey
got
doing her
chaotic.
own? Is she doing her own?
Yeah, she's going to do her own too. So
That's cool.
I'm nudging her. I'm like, hey, go ahead and fill yours out, and then we can compare.
Compare and contrast. Yeah, Rachel and I, we talked about it briefly. We know that we want to be cremated, and we know that we want to have celebration of life services over funerals, which
That's
is fascinating.
awesome.
But it's a weird. It's like, After HFO's big night, the Soft Surrender, the film that came out November 1st by Randy Bacon, we actually went home with those folders, and we talked about it. And it's like, wow, we never really had this conversation.
Yeah, that's really funny. Bailey and I were talking about like what we wanted to be done with us on the way home too, and like we both want to be cremated. I'm like, you can put me in a tree and I can just become a tree. That's fine. And she's like, well, I kind of like a stone and be buried in the ground. I'm like, that's fine too. Like we can have a stone for both of us. Just put the tree out next to it for me. Like,
Yeah,
Exactly.
What
what
Yeah.
a great idea.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I did not. Well, I don't know if I talked about it with Beth or not. I think we kind of just touched on it. You know,
Yeah.
she knows I want to be cremated. She wants to be cremated as well, and I don't know. Like I'm wanting to really dig in and plan everything, and I don't think she's as into that part as maybe I am. But we'll see. I don't know. She changes her mind quite often,
Yeah.
so she might come around. Well, why don't we just start at the top and
Let's
start
do it.
kicking our
Yeah.
list off?
Who wants to go first?
Yeah.
Not all at once.
Well, one of the bucket lists at the top of my travel list was going to Asia.
Yeah.
And so we're supposed to leave on a flight to go to Tokyo next weekend. Now I'm not sure we're going to make it.
Oh, no. Gotta get
Because
that
of
government
the flights.
open. Yeah.
So
But that's
that
awesome.
may
So
not- but,
what's the plan? What are you going to see in Tokyo?
we changed it. We initially were going to leave earlier, but we didn't want to be gone that long. So originally we were going to fly into Hong Kong and then take a flight down to Tokyo
Cool.
and spend a few days there and then come back. We decided to shorten it and just go straight to Tokyo. So we're not leaving for a few days later, but we're just going to go to Tokyo, come back and just try to see what Tokyo's about. We're not going anywhere else in Japan, just that one city, but I hear it's a big city to check out. So yeah, that's one thing I can mark off the list.
That's awesome. I've been to Hawaii once. I want to go back, but more importantly, I want to go to Rome. I want to see Rome, Italy.
Oh,
I
you'll
know.
love it.
You talked about it. Anton, who works here at Haven, talked about it, and she just said, "You got to do this. You got to do this. You got to do this. You got to do the Vatican tour. Then you got to go see Venice." And it's like, I have to see Italy. I think Rachel and I would love it.
You will love it.
Yeah.
And before you go, you have to, I'll get you the name and address. If you like jazz,
Okay, I love jazz.
they have
Yes.
this place called the Gregory, and it's on Gregory Street.
Perfect.
And we just, like, by total accident, we're walking by it, and I like the sound of the music. I was like, why don't we just go in here? And we just went right in, and they were so inviting and so friendly. And they're like, come back. We've got friends that are doing a jazz set tonight. And we did. And we just had an amazing time. And that's the thing about Italians, man. They are just the friendliest culture that you'll ever run into. We absolutely loved Rome, and Rome was just crazy. Vatican was very crowded, but cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really, really neat. So
Yeah. I've always wanted to go to all the national parks. So like as our kids get older, instead of like going to like Disney World or theme parks or stuff like that, Bailey and I have always talked about, okay, let's just take the kids on road trips to like different national parks. We can travel the United States while we do that and kind of touch all the states, because I want to do all 50 states at some point. And I'm like, what better way to do it than hit all the national parks? Because like I've gone to quite a few while I was in college and like when I was younger, because that's what my parents did. That we weren't wealthy by any means, so we were like, let's just go to national parks instead. So like we did Mount Rushmore, and I even got to go to Glacier and Devil's Tower and all that. When I picked up my brother in Seattle about, I guess it was 5 or 6 years ago now, we drove all the way back to Wisconsin. So we hit like the gauntlet on the way back, and it was such a cool experience. But it's like, how can I visit more places? Because it's just always cool going to a national park.
Absolutely. Right after Rome.
National Park.
Zion National Park.
Zion, yeah.
I kid you not. I want to go to Zion.
Cool.
Yeah, that's the next on the list.
I think I'm going to add that to my list now.
I mean, there's so
really
many
am.
beautiful national
really
parks in
are.
this country.
Well, like Muir Woods is just north of San Francisco.
Yeah.
I got to go there when I visited a friend out in San Francisco. it's like the southern end of the redwoods. So you get quite a few like the southern redwoods in there. Oh, just
and then
beautiful.
Yosemite right out there too.
And then, I had to do the wine tour in Napa Valley.
Oh,
while I was out there, so I was like, well, I've done that one, so check that one off the list.
Yeah.
But
That's
No,
cool.
it's a great idea.
That's really cool.
A lot of beautiful places in our own backyard. Honestly, it's just taking the
people
time to
don't
go
even
see
think
them.
about it.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
Yeah. We have some of the most beautiful rivers right here in
We
Missouri
really
and
do.
northern Arkansas.
Oh yeah, the Ozarks.
Like the Buffalo is just literally 60 miles south, basically.
Yeah.
and
you can't beat
nationally, the
Buffalo.
first nationally protected river in the
I didn't know
country.
that.
Really?
Fun fact: 1972.
No
I geeked
kidding.
out over that when I did adventures. But yeah, no, for sure. Oh, the buffalo. Oh, and floating it in June, the first or second weekend in June, it's
Beautiful.
It's perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Ponca or Jasper. You go around, and you start there, and you do the Upper Buffalo. Highly recommended.
That's awesome. Just don't go on a 4th of July.
No, that's
They're
what.
done
Stay away
that.
from
Don't
all
recommend it.
Actually, on any river in the
any river.
Ozarks,
That's right.
it gets a little crazy.
That's
out here.
right.
Yeah.
You got the way they come out in the road. So I have Africa on my list. I
Oh, yeah, that'd
think
be really
cool.
doing a safari.
Like a safari,
might be
yeah.
Really,
Yeah, I have a
Kinda
cousin
cool.
that goes on safaris like every couple of years down there.
yeah.
Goes and
Wherever they don't have malaria is where I want to go. Not really wanting to have to take all the medicines, but I guess
That's
you
fair.
have to regardless. I'm not 100% sure on that, to be
I
honest.
think they have to take quite a few vaccines, like
Yeah.
before and then after you come back as well.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't know if I can talk my wife into that one.
What about Egypt though? In Africa,
You
still counts.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, we had that on the agenda for one trip at
Yeah?
one point, and yeah, I think we would like to go see it. I've heard good and bad.
Yeah,
I
they
have
they
too.
just I think it's this year or next year they're opening up that brand new Egyptian antique museum.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Antiquities, excuse me, antiquities. I want to see that.
Yeah, that
That'd
would
be so cool to see.
That would
King
be cool.
Tut's stuff would be so
Oh,
cool to see.
yeah.
Like, that would be the main attraction going to Egypt.
Yeah, and the
Yeah.
centennial of that's coming up, I believe. I think
Yeah.
it's 1920s, and
Yeah,
it's
I
all
think that's
cursed.
correct.
That's a
Yeah.
whole nother can of worms in terms of the story of the curse of them opening up and all that stuff.
Yeah,
Inspired the mummy movies.
for sure. The one advice I heard is that if you're gonna go to the pyramids, don't go there without a tour guide.
Yeah.
I've heard that
Yeah,
too.
just you end up just people tell you things.
Wow.
And lead you off in the wrong direction and stuff like that. But otherwise, it's safe. It's just that's one of those things. But what else is on your guys' travel list?
Travel list. I'm kind of a sports geek, so I really want to visit like all the MLB and NFL stadiums. Like my dad and I have talked about. So there's like different companies that will do like different tours of like MLB stadiums. So you'll pick like the Northeast, and it'll take you to like New York, Philadelphia, Boston, Baltimore, DC. Like, so you can do like 10 or 12 different like stadiums.
Like a whole
and-
circuit.
Yeah, in like
Yeah.
14 days, basically, you visit all the stadiums and they drop you off in all the cities. So it's a pretty cool adventure. Dad and I have looked into
That's
it. 'Cause
awesome.
We're like, that'd be a cool thing to do on a summer.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah.
Wait, what's your What's
So-
the be all end all stadium?
Oh, Fenway Park. So I'm a big
Okay.
Red Sox fan. And like, Fenway Park is like legendary, anyways. I mean, it opened
Yeah.
right after the Titanic sank and all that. And like, who doesn't want to go sit up on the green monster seats? Like, that would be so cool.
That would
Be cold,
cool.
but it'd be worth it.
yeah, for sure.
Absolutely.
Oh, that's good.
It's a good one. The Holy Land. I know right now is a crazy time, but eventually I'd love to go to Israel and just walk in the footsteps of history. I mean, 3 major world religions all right there. It's just kind of mind blowing.
Yeah.
The
And
history.
I'm guessing you can't go right now. Are you?
Well,
it's
with
just
the
not a good time?
probably I would say not a good time, just with the conflict going on. But hopefully that resolves really soon enough so it's safe to travel. But I've heard nothing but really good things. Church groups going, friends going there a few years ago. I would just love to see it.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
sounds cool. Me, it's and this is super generic, but just I'd like to hit every continent.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Like just get there, and say I touched it. And, that would be kind of cool.
That
Yeah, I
would
think
be
going
cool.
to like South America would be really cool. Going to like Machu Picchu and like actually hiking that. I mean, very much out of shape at the moment, but like I would have to
would
work
be
my
neat.
way up to like, all right, let's start hiking a lot because that trail I heard is a barn burner, like on the amount of like miles you have to trek. And then there's the easier route where they bus you 3/4 the way up and then you hike the last fourth. But like,
and the altitude, I guess, is
the altitude is pretty high.
intense.
Yeah, it is pretty intense. A lot of people will pass out if they don't like prep properly.
Yeah, I would definitely pass out for sure.
Yeah.
And I've
those
had
are
multiple
great.
family members like go and like take pictures and everything. I'm like, I gotta go at some point. Like,
For
it's one of the
sure.
last things I do. That's what I need to do.
That's cool. Yeah, no, that would be really good. Should we switch to events?
Sure.
Yeah.
Let's jump.
I'd like to go to a Mardi Gras. I've been
Yeah.
to New Orleans
Yeah.
many
New
times,
Orleans?
but never during Mardi Gras. And
Same.
I've heard mixed results on that, but I like the family version of Mardi Gras, like,
Yeah.
'cause they have different, not in the crazy part.
Yeah.
I'm not I really don't like Bourbon Street at all.
I'm right there with you. I
Yeah.
did not have a good experience on Bourbon Street the last time I went.
No.
I mean, I loved Cafe Du Monde and I loved going on the ghost tours while I was down there.
Yeah.
Did you ever get to go to the World War II museum or was
It's
it built
amazing.
yet? It was incredible.
Yeah.
Loved it. I did it all in like 5 hours. Just way too much stuff to do in 5 hours. And I feel like I really didn't get the full experience because I was only down there for like 3 or 4 days. And I was like, definitely want to go back one day because that museum was just incredible.
Yeah.
St. Louis Cemetery. Did you get to tour
I
that?
did not, unfortunately.
Oh, it is amazing. Just all the crypts above ground. It's a sight to see. It just feels fake,
Yeah.
and it's so real how they do that.
Well, when we were doing the podcast day before yesterday with Ryan from the crematorium,
Yeah.
I was thinking to myself, I was like, having a crypt would be pretty cool, like a family crypt, but you have to you can't just you have to be cremated to be in it, that
Right,
sort of
right.
thing. You have rules around it, but having a family crypt, I think would be so.
It would be kind of cool. Yeah.
It'd be wild.
I don't know. I have no idea on cost or whatever.
But
But
it'd be cool nonetheless.
I think going to the Olympics would be super cool to do.
I got that at the
Yeah.
top of my
Especially
list.
since it's going to
Yeah.
be here in the United States in 2028. I'm like,
yeah.
how can I find a way
LA?
to afford
Yeah.
that?
Or you can go to win. You just have to
The
fly
winter,
into.
Was it 2030 or 2034 is going to be Salt Lake City?
Yeah.
They're bringing the Winter Olympics back since 2002.
Yeah.
Wow.
So you have two tries.
Yeah.
2 tries.
Yeah. Yeah.
That'd be really neat.
You can go to, but you could potentially. Isn't it happening in Italy?
I think so.
think
The very
so.
northern part of Italy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
could fly into Milan, I think.
That sounds
it's
right.
Not
Yep.
far
Yeah, I
from
think that's
there.
correct, yeah.
I've heard a lot of people going.
That'd be
there.
kind of cool.
Yeah.
That would be
really
let's
neat.
Go to Italy for the Winter Olympics. Yeah. One last thing on New Orleans: if you go back, stay on Frenchman Street.
Really?
Yeah, it's more the music area,
Okay.
and there's a lot of just music bars along
Yeah.
there, but it's not Bourbon Street-ish,
Mhm.
and a lot of people love it. We stay at a place called the Royal Frenchman's. It's this boutique hotel. It's got I don't know if you heard of Vladimir Kush. He's
Yeah.
like an artist.
Uh-huh.
He's got they got all these paintings all over
All
that
decked out?
whole place.
Oh, wow.
And it's just got a great vibe. They do live music down in the lobby every night.
Oh, that's
Super
really
small.
cool. Yeah.
And, but for a great experience. And then they have I think it's a couple of nights a week. They have local artists that bring in their little booths or whatever.
Yeah.
And you just walk around there and it's super
That's
cool.
awesome.
So yeah, I'm not into the party vibe.
That's
anymore,
fair.
But But New Orleans is definitely a special.
Well, the
place in my
history of
heart.
it. My God, what 5 nations held that city over time, at least?
Gosh, you know so much about history. You're
Fun fact.
I'm going to start going to Spencer for all the history.
Well, let's see. So you had Spain, France, the Confederacy, America. I'm missing one. The English. Those are the 5 that
No
actually had
kidding.
New Orleans at some point in time. There you go. All 5.
Boy, what a
Yeah.
melting pot. Yeah,
The more you know.
it's definitely its own culture. It's
It's
super cool.
it's really cool.
What else? What other event?
I put down Super Bowl or World Series.
Yeah,
I'd love it
that'd be
just
really cool.
once. Just once. I don't care who's playing, just to experience it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
That'd be really neat.
that would be neat.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
I think the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade would be cool to just attend once.
Yeah, New York.
You'd freeze, but it's worth it from what I hear. And
Yeah.
my cousins live in New Jersey. They live right across the river and they used to live right there in New York City.
Wow.
They go almost every single year with their little kids and so it's just a blast every year.
New York is an amazing place. Period. We went to 4th of July
Oh, I'm sure that was really
this year
cool
with the girls. And I mean, I can't even tell you, the display was just unreal. It really is. You just, stand out on the Brooklyn Bridge and watch it, and it's just freaking crazy. It really is. It was great. Mine, I think this sounds crazy, but I would like to go to a Chinese New Year.
I had that on my list too, actually.
Yeah. Lunar New Year.
Yeah, they do a lot of different things for it, but like just picking, some neat city that does a celebration and be there part of that. It's just, I think it's pretty amazing.
And I think going to both the cherry blossom festivals would be really cool. The one in DC, and then alternatively the one that's over in Asia, would be so cool to see that.
Yeah, that does sound neat. Yeah, we went to the one in DC, but it was neat. It was really neat in DC, not in Tokyo, obviously. Yeah, that sounds cool.
I know we had the Northern Lights down here once, but actually to see them in Canada or Alaska, either way.
Okay.
Actually see them with your naked eye. Now, because here in the Ozarks, we had that time, I think it was last spring or whatnot. If you take a picture of your cell phone and you look at it, but actually see it with your naked eye, the Northern Lights would be so cool.
So my brother lived in Ashland, Wisconsin for 4 years, and we'd go up there during the summertime. You can see the Northern Lights so beautifully because it's literally on the tip of Wisconsin.
Wow.
During the summer, you could see it?
Oh, yeah.
No kidding.
Oh, yeah. It's beautiful up there.
Oh,
just so cool. I mean, it's like an hour east of Duluth.
Okay.
Is where it is. And it's just beautiful up there.
I would just love to see it with the naked eye.
And then Angel Island was just north on a boat from where they were at.
Gosh, I always thought you had to go to Finland or something.
That's what I was thinking.
Northern Wisconsin, you can see those Northern Lights pretty closely. And that was one of those nights where it was really flowing when I was up there, and we were like, holy cow.
That's on Bethany's list.
Yeah.
Seeing the Northern Lights. Yeah, she wants to see those someday.
I think it'd be perfect, like an Alaskan cruise. There you go. Cruise ship, and you're looking out.
Yeah.
That'd be perfect.
That would be neat.
That'd be perfect.
I would like to go to Kodiak Island during the salmon spawn or something when you see the boaters out catching. That sounds pretty cool. I think that would be pretty neat. It's funny. We went up to Canada one time. We were up in Calgary, and then they have Banff National Park up there.
Yes.
So we got to walk up there at I think it was Lake Louise or something. And then we went to this restaurant. It was at a ski resort, but this is in the summer, right?
Yeah.
So you have to take the ski lift up to the restaurant, but it's, it's like green, everything's green. And we're looking around, and it looks like they have these giant fences that are electrified. It looks like something out of Jurassic Park. I'm like, what is that for? So we get up there, and we're asking the waiter, and like, yeah, it's for the bears. Keeps the bears from taking down all the skiers, coming out, grabbing a snack on the way down.
Wow. I never
food,
even
right?
thought of that. Wow.
I know. Isn't that crazy?
That is very crazy.
Wow. That's cool. Another one is they have I don't know how I heard about this, but they have what's called a Fuji rock concert in Japan.
Okay.
And they have all these famous rock stars that come up there and do sets, and
it's really unique.
Yeah, and it's just like a multi-day festival. And it's kind of cool. And I thought, man, that would be really cool to go to.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I think St. Patty's Day or Oktoberfest, over in Europe, would be so cool. Go to Dublin for St. Patty's Day and Oktoberfest in Germany.
Yeah. Yeah. I
That'd be
think
a lot
I've
of
seen
fun.
pictures of some of that.
Or in pictures and movies. Clark Griswold during European vacations, what pops into my head.
I don't have the liver for that anymore. All right. Well, should we move on? There's some things I don't 100% have filled out. I was kind of wanting to sit down and talk with you guys. And
That's kind of fun. Yeah,
and,
let's figure it out.
So we can go to whatever.
People to meet.
Let's do it.
I think
Wanna
that's
do that one?
interesting.
Yeah.
Let me go first?
Yeah, go for it.
A lot of different people, but I think Neil deGrasse Tyson would be cool. I just think he's so down to earth. Astrophysicist up in New York, but he's so just personable. I just think I'd learn a lot. Just even an hour lecture would be really cool. So geeking out with Neil deGrasse Tyson, I think would be cool.
Yeah.
He does a podcast called Star Talk. So It's fun to listen to if you want to learn stuff about the universe and the leading trends and what the scientists are thinking. It's kind of fun.
Yeah, that is cool. That is cool. How about you, Alex?
I think Brene Brown would be super fascinating to just pick her mind for like an hour or two. Like her podcast is already great and she's released so many great books. And it's like, how do you get to some of these points and how did you come up with some of these things? And like, how can you help us become better people as well? You know, just like, yeah, I can listen to your podcast or your books but like really sit me down and like really pick me apart and be like, all right, this is what you're doing wrong. This is what you're doing great. Here's how you become even more of a greater leader, or how do you, you know, actually adventure out and do those different things that she talks about. So
yeah, that sounds cool. Yeah, I've read some of her books and she's just so
fascinating,
knowledgeable.
Yeah, very
super knowledgeable.
Yeah,
and especially with like her psychologist background and dealing with social work as well. I mean, like she's seen it all.
She's got a story to tell.
She does.
Absolutely.
I love her stuff. I especially love her analogy about like how trust works and you know how that's really the kind of the foundation. Somebody who's kind of like that for me, he's kind of more on the business guru side of things, but there's a guy named Patrick Lencioni who has I don't know if he has a podcast still or not, but he wrote a book called The 5 Dysfunctions of a Team, and he talks about the foundations of a great team. And you know, leadership and management is something that I've just become very fascinated with because it can, you know, a third of our life is in business. And so you're like, why not spend it with people you like and work on teams that perform well, right? And you have to kind of have it all. You have to like who you work with and you have to perform well in order to love what you do. And so I really like his take on it. I'd like to just talk to him about kind of how we do things here at our company and get his
pick his brain.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Pre-consulting maybe.
I got a few others across the spectrum. Christopher Nolan, famous director. Love Interstellar. What was the most recent one that just came out just a summer ago? It's Oppenheimer. Great film.
Yeah.
That was such a good film.
Yeah.
Bear Grylls, the adventure guy, you know, he could survive in the jungle with just like a rock and a stick and all that. That's awesome. He's just a cool guy. And then Jeff Probst, the, you know, cool Survivor man himself, you know, from the TV show. So just some interesting people to talk to.
Yeah.
I think it'd be fun. They have some cool life stories and they've all seen some things. So
they have definitely.
For sure. For sure.
What's your favorite Nolan movie?
I go back to Interstellar. I said it first. Yeah. Oh my gosh. I just think that was so creative. I was shocked it didn't win Best Picture. That was like, what, 2014? Somewhere around there?
Yeah.
Oh, it was so good. Just the score of it. Oh my gosh.
Isn't he creating the Odyssey film too?
He is.
That one seems
Homer's
like,
Odyssey is going to be on film, and I think it's coming up next year.
And it's with a loaded cast too. Yeah. So I'm really interested to see
I like that he takes his time. He takes years per movie.
Yeah.
Because he wants to get it just right.
Yeah.
But Interstellar is the one where, you know, saw in the IMAX, I'm like, this is a spectacle. Like, this is really awesome. Yeah.
Oh man. I love that. Yeah. I love that. All right. What do you think?
Moving right along. Next category. It's like Jeopardy.
Food to try might be an interesting one to talk about.
Food?
Uh-huh.
All right.
Well, I honestly would love to actually have Italian food in Italy because, like, so different than what it is here in America. Like, everyone thinks, oh, our Italian food here is Italian. It's not actually Italian food. Like, let's go actually live the culture. And, like, same with sushi from, like, Japan. Mm-hmm. Like, sushi actually over in Japan would be so cool to actually eat.
Yeah. That kind of has a bit of a sensitive stomach, you know, and the funny thing is when we went to Europe, and at Italy, we went to Lake Como, which is just north of Milan.
Yeah.
Beautiful place. Then we went to Venice and then down to Rome and came home. Well, that whole trip took us, I don't know, it was like a week and a half or something like that in Italy.
Yeah.
No stomach problems at all, not even one. And we ate everything under the sun. And that is just, you know, I mean, she just has a sensitive stomach, you know, like.
I think it's the food additives and everything else we have here in America compared to like the more natural food over in Europe and Asia.
I think so. Yeah.
It's clean eating over there.
It is.
At least the places we went, it was really, really good. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we enjoyed it a lot.
So there's this Filipino food. It's like a purple yam cake of some kind. They call it ube dessert. Ube, I'm not saying that right, but my wife would probably know more of it because her family, half her family's from the Philippines. But it sounds really good, and I saw pictures of it. I'm like, that looks delicious, like a purple cake.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's yam ice cream cake. Don't know much about it. So that was on my list. Nopales, which is grilled cacti in Mexico. So it's weird, but I think that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
And then, okay, the Scottish, it's basically spice offal pudding called the haggis. As you could tell, I did a little research on this type of stuff, just find out what these things are called. So I am totally butchering the names of all these, but it just like, that sounds really interesting. Spiced pudding in Scotland. So
Yeah.
just kind of
That sounds awesome.
globetrotting there. But those are the three that just stood out. I'm like, as I was doing research, like what food have I never had before? I'm like, Asia, America and Europe. So
mine's really personal. When I was a kid, my maternal grandmother made chicken and noodles, and she kept her own chickens. And I remember this is how young I was when she would have me try to catch a chicken for her. I would catch one. And when I would carry it, I'd carry it upside down, holding it by its feet. And I had to hold it up to my chin in order to keep its head from dragging on the ground. So that's how little I was. These are like core memories. And I didn't really know what grandma was going to do with that chicken when I gave it to her. But anyway, she would, pluck that chicken and put it in the pot and boil it and cook. She'd let that simmer for hours and hours and hours. And then she'd make these noodles they weren't dumplings, but they weren't noodles either. They were big and thick, and it was just the best food I've ever had in my entire life. And if I could figure out
how to,
it's one of my missions in life to try
get
to
that
figure
recipe.
out how did she do that? Because she's been gone for a long time.
Yeah.
But just trying to do some experimenting to see if I can get close to it again. I'd really like to see if I can figure out that recipe, because it was
that'd be good.
Amazing. And my grandfather, I'll never forget, he always took just like a regular piece of white bread, put butter on it, and then he'd salt and pepper it. And for some reason, it's amazing. I'm just saying, people are like, oh, what? That's not good. No, I'm telling you. If you're eating some soup, some savory thing, get just a regular piece of white bread, put some butter on it and salt and pepper, and
good to go.
I think you'll love it. That's all I have on the food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So skills and hobbies.
Improve public speaking and teaching skills. Two separate things, but they kind of coincide. I think it'd be kind of fun to be able to just walk up in front of a crowd and just give a speech without a script. That's the hardest. It's more impromptu. I think I struggle with that. If you give me something, I can read it, I can recite it, but actually just jumping in front of people and just winging it, that takes skill. That takes effort.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that. I actually am almost the opposite in that I wish I could follow a script better. I get so concentrating on the script that I can't seem to stay on it, and then I get confused about what I was going to say, and I didn't say it right, and I'm thinking about I didn't say it right, and I'm throwing myself off, and then so I wish I had better skills on that.
We teach each other.
Yeah, we need to work together for sure.
I had woodworking, so
there you go.
I really want to learn how to do woodworking, so create stuff and put it in our house one day and all that.
That'd be really
and
cool.
Bailey's like, here, you can go take some classes if you want. I'm like, sure, I'll take them when I get a chance.
Do you ever consider a chainsaw like those guys do with the logs? That's so cool. So
you know,
cool.
you watch enough of those HGTV shows. They're just woodworking everything, and you're like, man, I can barely change a light bulb some days. And I'm like, how am I supposed to do this woodworking stuff?
That's really cool.
I'm worried about you, Alex. If you're going to get working with chainsaws, I'm like, can we make
please
sure
be
you have
careful.
Insurance and get you some metal gloves or something, shin guards. Yeah, well, we'll have to deck you out.
That's a good one. That's a fun one.
When I was, I think maybe I was 20 years old, came down here and I did what was called a discovery flight. so you can go to the airport. I think they still do it.
Yeah, I think
Really?
they
You
do.
can
Okay.
pay a fee, and they'll take you up in a
Okay.
pay a fee, and they'll take you up in a prop plane, and they'll let you literally drive the plane, fly the plane.
Yeah.
It shows you how technical I am about this. And I loved it. And I thought, man, I really want to learn how to fly.
Pilot's license.
Yeah, I really wanted to do that. And I, just didn't have the money to do it at that
It's
point.
expensive to get those pilot's license. Even like low down, not commercial flight pilot's license are expensive.
So I think I'd like to at some point try just taking some lessons again and seeing if it's still for me. But maybe learning how to fly.
That's
would be
really
kinda
cool. Yeah. I like that.
I don't know if my family would trust me behind in a plane to go with me. I might do it by myself all the time, but yeah, I'd like to
That'd
try
be
to
really
fly.
cool.
Yeah.
Master golf a little bit more. I mean,
There you go.
Who doesn't want to master golf more? Like golf's a great, but being out away from the house for 4 or 5 hours at a time is not useful for anybody, especially when you have small kids at home and your wife is like, "Are you still golfing?" "Yeah, we're only like five holes in, It's like, yeah, we'll probably need to get a little bit better at our golf game, but it's enjoyable. It's good hobby to have, but definitely more practice.
Yeah.
It's definitely good to hang out with friends and stuff. I never took it up. We lived on a golf course for 5 years and never took it up, which is so sad.
That's all right.
But yeah, I just couldn't.
Driving the
I
golf
was just
carts
too
is
busy.
fun. I do
It
enjoy
is.
that. and I love the scenery.
I'd like to learn to paint.
Oh, there you go.
I took art in school, like in college. I took some drawing classes and stuff like that, and I was getting ready to go into a painting class, and something came up, and I needed to take some other credit, and I just dropped it. And I kind of wish I could go back to it now and just try it out.
Yeah.
And I think that'd be kind of
That'd be
peaceful,
cool.
kind of
Yeah.
way to relax. I'm not sure if I want to learn how to ski, but I've never really done it, and like maybe bunny slope ski.
Same.
I've never done it. Yeah, never.
I think I don't.
Not
know
the
if my
real
knees
deal,
can
that
do
is.
it.
Yeah.
I've seen some guys trash their knees doing that, but I might try. And then I think I'd like to learn, or at least continue to try to learn another language. I mean, I've been dabbling a little bit in Spanish, and I just not enough to speak to anybody, but I can kind of read it. And so like I can read a sign or two, or know, if somebody said a word, I might be able to pull out what that is, but just to feel a little more comfortable around that language, I'd like to continue to do.
It's a great idea.
It's probably one of the easier ones to learn. I took 5 years of it in middle school and high school.
Yeah.
And I took 2 classes actually in college of Spanish as well. So
No kidding.
yeah.
So now
I would definitely say I'm not fluent in
But
it.
you're ready for South America now. So
But I can understand like when people are talking and they slow down, but and I can read Spanish pretty well, but
it's definitely not a slow language.
it is
That's
not
for
a
sure.
slow language at all. Like it's like, woo, I need you to slow down there. I understood like 4 words of what you just said.
Yeah. Oh man. Okay. What else?
Fears to
Fears.
overcome. That's a tough one.
Yeah.
You and I have the same one, Spencer.
Heights.
Yeah, I'm
Oh,
terrified of heights.
I'm just not good with it. Here's the kicker, though. Put me in a hot air balloon, put me in the air, in something, totally fine. You put me on the top of a skyscraper looking down, I have a problem. You put me on a cliff face, I have a
See,
problem.
the funny thing is I freak out at roller coasters, but once you force me on there and I get up to the top,
Oh, yeah?
I'm enjoying it. I'm having the best time of my life, but
See, if I'm attached, so like the
heights
mamba,
terrify me. And even like the part where you go up in the plane, like I'm just like holding on to everything.
Oh,
Like,
wow.
but once we're up in the air, we're fine. But it's
fine.
Yeah.
it's the
Once up in
ascend
the air.
just freaks me out.
Yeah.
I'm like, whoo, we are way up there. And like the landing doesn't bother me because I'm like, hey,
Yeah.
we're back to ground,
I mean, I think everyone has a healthy fear of heights.
Oh, for
right?
sure. Healthy.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Like,
Absolutely.
I mean, I get the heart jump whenever I
Yeah.
get close to the edge of something. I think that's kind of normal, but it's not like panic,
Like
freak out.
vertigo,
type.
and you're
Yeah,
going to
yeah.
pass out or
Yeah.
something.
I'm
Yeah.
not quite there.
I've seen some trails, like I think it's in China. I think that
Yeah.
like they're like hooked to a rope or
the
something.
Stairway
and
to
they're-
Heaven.
Yeah,
Stairway to Heaven
No
is
way.
just-
No, no desire.
Or what is that other one that's at one of the national parks here?
Capitan?
No, it's where it curves over. I think it's over at Yosemite. No, it's not Yosemite. It's Yellowstone. It's
People are
the
climbing
half
that?
moon. The half moon. Remember how people have to climb over that, and it's all just.
Well, like El Capitan.
It's one of the hardest like height ones too, and a lot of people like pass out or.
No,
Yeah.
thanks.
Yeah, no way. And you're just stuck on a cable the whole time. I'm like,
Oh my god. Well, people like when they climb, they'll sleep
Uh-huh.
on a ledge.
Yeah.
No way.
And I could never
No
climb
way.
like Mount Everest or anything like
Oh,
that. No.
heck
They
no.
still have bodies up there, right?
Oh,
There's
still there?
thousands of bodies.
I don't know how people do that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No thanks. No thanks.
So, stay
There
on
are
the
some
ground.
fears I want to keep.
But I'm willing to jump out of an airplane, skydive. I'm
See,
willing to
you're
willing to
willing
do
to do
that. But I don't. It's weird. I don't like ledges. Maybe that's what it is. It's a ledge height thing. I don't like looking like on a roof. I don't like.
But you'll jump out of a perfectly.
But
good
I would.
plane.
That's something.
Never.
It's kind of. It's going back to like something I would like to do. I would love to
that
skydive
overcome the
once.
fear.
I think that would help me a lot to
Yeah,
overcome.
you won't
that.
catch me jumping out of a perfect airplane.
Yeah, I don't
But
know
not
about
bungee
that
jump.
one.
See, because it's the ledge thing. You have to jump.
And it's weird how it slings you right back
I
up.
don't like that. Yeah, so I can never bungee jump.
So this is a fear and a I don't know if it fit under a vent or not, but I've had a bucket list item for as long as I can remember, but I've always wanted to be in the water, like scuba diving in the water with a whale.
Oh,
And I don't mean
wow.
like the whale shark. I mean
Like a blue whale.
Whale.
Yeah.
And I will be both absolutely terrified but I just, there's some part of me that wants to do it. And so I even researched, like, you go to California and you stay in this hotel and you wait and they'll like call you and they're like, we spotted them, and you run over. It's super expensive to do. And you have to jump in the helicopter or something or a boat.
And they
there's,
take you right over?
You're flying out there, and then
Oh.
you can go jump in the water with them or whatever.
It's wild.
But
That's got to be at the top of your bucket list then, if you could do it.
It is, but here's the catch. On top of all of this, I get super seasick.
Oh,
And
yeah.
so you're like, okay, how much Dramamine can I take?
I was gonna
to
say,
be able
you
to
can
do
take those
this
pills,
and
yeah.
not throw up in my
Oh
my
my
mask.
God.
You're certified?
We are scuba certified.
That's awesome.
But in the water, you still are moving.
Yeah.
Like just because you're
Oh,
underwater, it's not still.
Yeah.
Like you can
Especially
still
out
be
in the
swaying.
oceans and stuff, like that water is moving.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people think when they see scuba divers underwater, if it's choppy up top,
Yeah.
it's still a little choppy down below, and getting there is kind of a chore.
Mm-hmm.
And like scuba divers do throw up in their masks underwater. Like it's a real deal.
Oh,
So you
thank
gotta
you.
like throw up basically and get your and then clear your mask and all that. Yeah,
That sounds awful.
I know. I didn't know it was going to go this direction.
That's
I
okay.
brought
That's
this up
okay.
to begin
Well, that's
with.
why it's a fear. That's a
it's
fear. It
It's a fear.
counts.
It's a
Yeah.
legitimate fear. And like somebody would be like, why would you want to do that? It's just like one of those awe-inspiring things
Yeah.
where, if you go to a giant mountain that you've always wanted to see and you're driving up into it and you're like, oh my God, this is the most amazing thing I've ever seen in my life. That is that for me.
That
It's
feeling.
like the Mount Everest type thing that I don't know that I'll ever do it, but it is on my list
It's
of
on the
fear
list.
and event both. So all right, let's talk about career goals. I can kick us off here.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one of the reasons why we started a podcast. It's one of the reasons that we started Haven to begin with 15 years ago. I became a physical therapist because I loved old people. I was very close to my grandparents and, spent a lot of time with older folks and was raised very much in you respect older folks. They have a lot to share, a lot of wisdom, that sort of thing. I always enjoyed them. I always enjoyed their sense of humor. I just kind of got them, even as a teenager, So I knew that I wanted to work with older folks and just kind of ran into, physical therapy over the years and wanted to have something where I could really give back to them if I could, because they just are special people, in my opinion. But I wanted to have a significant impact on the elderly community. And so my goal is to see how far I can take that. Like how much of an influence can you have on a community? And, it takes a village, obviously. You've got to gather all these other people around you that have that same desire or love. But yeah, that's a
I
big
like
goal
that.
for mine. So I can look back on my career and go,
Yeah.
that did my job.
Love it. I would say, and this kind of goes back to one of my favorite films of all time, It's a Wonderful Life. I want to be able to look back at my life and say, wow, I did make a difference. And maybe it wasn't the huge things I thought, maybe it was the small things. So I guess as a career goal is, especially like being here, is like doing something that actually does make a difference for people. So either that's, information like the podcast itself or things like that. So the way I see my trajectory going is continuing to be more involved with the community and helping people so that when it comes time for this, at the end, I can look back and say, you know what, I made a difference. Mm-hmm. And so that's what I think. It's not how much money you make or what title you get. It's, did I actually make an impact on this earth before I pass? So it's a big, broad goal, right? It's not really that specific, but it's more along the lines of making a difference and being able to,
I think
and being proud of that. Whatever you do.
Everybody kind of feels that sense, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
That seems so right on brand for you, for sure.
Yeah, I'm kind of on that same path, Spencer, where I want to be on community boards or different boards for organizations that really help out the community, as well as Bailey and I have talked about we want to create scholarship funds in the future for kids.
That's fantastic.
That need that help going to school, because let's be honest, college is expensive. It's very expensive. And any way we can make an impact on someone's life and help them later on in our lives, we actually have the financial means to do so. I think that's a huge part of what we're wanting to do with our lives is always give back.
Yeah.
With as much as
it's
we
wonderful.
Can. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I love it.
I think we're all aligned on that one.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah, there you go.
Another thing career-wise for me is that, so I've worked in the healthcare system for quite a while. Mm-hmm. I've gotten to see all kinds of different versions of the healthcare system. And it's the system itself is kind of a little broken because, probably because of greed. If I'm just going to underline a reason. And so people who may not are into helping other people as much, but they're really into making money, have gotten into the business, and it's kind of tainted the business a little bit. But what I hope to do is have an example of a company that we focus on great leadership and we focus on doing the right thing for people, and that be an influence to other agencies or whatever that may be a little on the cynical side. There may be young people out there who are I don't want to get into the healthcare system because it's so broken. Mm-hmm. And those are the people that we want to influence to come into the system more. We need more of those people to come in. And if we can make a hub for that and say, hey, I don't mind competition against what I do for our agency. As a matter of fact, the more stiff competition from a good standpoint, quality service that push us and make us grow as a company, I love that. And I want to be that for another company as well. Yeah. So that's kind of part of it. I know it's kind of
it makes
grandiose
sense.
Or whatever, but I do really feel this sense of maybe we can have an influence on others.
Absolutely.
And make that happen.
And here's a tangent. Maybe write a book. Write it all down.
If I could write, that would help.
That would help.
Writing
That'd be
a book
start.
would help.
But that'd be kind of a cool thing. I didn't even put that on the list, but writing a book, a memoir or something like that, your life story. I think that'd be kind of fun. Something in the back of the mind.
You'd have to help me Spencer, to be in charge of it and make me do it. I'd sit down and start writing, and I'd start doing something else probably.
Yep.
So, yeah. I think that's all I had on career goals. About life goals.
That's a good one. Who wants to start?
I think just being involved in the community as much as possible, whether that's being on a school board or helping out with board of directors, or even continuing to do what I'm doing right now with the Alzheimer's group. I'm on their walk committee, and then even Hospice Foundation, the Ozarks. Any way we can help impact community, especially the elder care community, I think is so worth it. I mean, there's so many organizations that need help, and people just don't even think about helping them, or they don't know how to get involved. And it's all you have to do is reach out to a lot of these groups. Yeah. They're more than willing to take any help that they can get, because they're not for profit. They need that help. And there's so many people in the community that don't either know about these organizations, or they just need assistance from these organizations, but they don't know where to start. Right. So any way we can do the service for the community is the way I look at it, is hey, it helps me out in growing in my understanding of the healthcare field, but it also helps the community out and how we can reach out and help them.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
Yeah. My thinking around this was like more along the lines of a little more on the personal side, in that it was more like just how I view people.
Yeah.
I think I've spent most of my life a little on the cynical side, and I don't know that I've given everyone the benefit of the doubt as much as I probably could have. And I mean that in a whole host of different ways, not just professionally, but just, making sure I really understand what somebody's trying to say, where they're coming from, be more understanding. Even if I don't necessarily agree with their point of view. I think that's where I think maybe the mainstream narrative, and I don't know how much of it's produced by other people, like who want this disruption. And the reality is that most people you talk to, regardless of where they come from, are just good people, and they just want what's best for their family and take care of themselves. And they may have strong opinions, but they're oftentimes those strong opinions are about that group over there, but they don't really know what that group is. And if they met some of those people in that group individually, they probably would really like them, that sort of thing. And so I don't want to be the person who's closed-minded, I guess. I want to be open-minded, and not that I don't have strong beliefs and passions about things. And I very much will, stand behind those. I want to have good values, but at the same time, I don't want to be too quick to judge someone else's, because I think they call it attribution error. It's where, and I use this as an example, where if I'm in a big hurry and I pull out on the road and I cut somebody off, I'm in a big hurry, and I didn't mean to do that. I'm in a big hurry. I'm trying to get home to my family. But if I'm driving down the road and somebody cuts me off, that person's an ass.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, wait a second, those two things don't match. But that's, and Patrick Lencioni, the guy I mentioned earlier, he's the one who really brought that to the surface for me, that attribution error. He's the one who first mentioned it to me, or I heard him on a podcast mention it. But that was something that it really struck me that, yeah, I do that. I'll be very quick to judge somebody and label who they are when it was what they did. And I know some people are like, well, your actions are who you are, or whatever. But I'm just saying that I think sometimes we pass judgment on too little of information.
Oh yeah.
Give a little more grace.
Yeah. Grace.
I like that.
I could have just said that.
No, you're good.
Grace.
You're good. Grace. Well, piggybacking off that, being more selfless. I think we live in such a selfish, all me society, social media especially. Like, we're all just like on our phones, and we're just kind of living our own little bubbles. And so piggybacking off of that, being more selfless, actually giving people time of day, opening the door for somebody, something so simple, or just having a casual conversation in line instead of being on my phone. So kind of being more present too, I would say would be a life goal. Live in the moment. I know we live stressful lives. There's a million things going on, and everything's always trying to steal our attention away, and just live in the moment and be selfless. So that's just kind of an overarching life goal for me.
Yeah. Yeah. I love it. That's
more philosophical.
I'm going to write that one down, because that's actually just being
just
in the
more
moment.
life philosophy. Yeah.
A life goal is obviously for me to raise happy kids, successful kids.
Absolutely.
It's to be honest, I don't know that I really wanted to be a dad. Like, I didn't think I'd be any good at it. When I became one, this entire weight of the world landed on my shoulders. I felt it almost immediately when we brought my son home from the hospital. And I love being a dad. But this project that we're going through right now, this bucket list that we're doing, it's a lot of it's very personal and stuff for the individual. And I think it's a lot of fun, but there's other parts of this that we want to get to that are about trying to take care of the people that you leave behind. And my kids are like, my wife and my kids are the number one thing on my list of how do I make sure that I take care of them and, being more present in the world, being, you know, more focused. That's like put a bow on everything for me. But, you know, going through something like this really does help get you very focused on, maybe I don't have as much time as I think I do. And maybe I need to prioritize what is most important. And what you just said is probably needs to be at the top of my list, to be honest. You know, just really staying present and enjoying things, because it is sometimes the very little things that I enjoy the most. You know,
those little moments.
Yeah.
They matter.
Yeah, they do.
We think it's the big things, but then you start realizing maybe it's the smaller things in your life that matter more.
It is the
which is kind of neat.
Yeah, I've definitely learned that with a small child. Like, it's always like live in the moment with the kid. When he goes to bed, we can play on our phones and do whatever we want. But it's like he's our full attention right now, and he's everything we need to do. And you never know what's going to happen in life, so it's like might as well take advantage of just being
Absolutely.
with him.
Well, Emerson is he just is a ball of energy. He looks
Really is. He's always on the run now.
Oh my gosh, those costumes that you brought for Halloween was it the War of the Wild Things?
Yeah, Where the Wild Things Were. Yeah, we had him as Max. And
that was amazing. I love that. So cute.
Bailey's the creative mind behind all that. I give her all the credit for that.
Oh man, yeah, that was good. That was really, really good. Well, I think, what are other life goals? Any other life goals?
I want to see all 50 states, which shouldn't be that complicated. You got a lifetime to do it.
Country.
Well, we hope.
It's a
gorgeous country. So you got to end with Alaska and Hawaii, of course. You got to close it out with something fun. But no, I mean, I've been to about 26 of them. So halfway there.
That's
give or
pretty
take.
good.
That's not bad. That's not bad.
It's so funny when you talk to Europeans and they're like, yeah, I think we're going to go to New York and then we're going to, drive to LA or something,
It's like, oh my God. They don't realize how large.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, distance in Europe is just so different than distance in the United States.
Yeah. It's crazy how different it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They can take a couple hour train ride and they're in a whole other country. Here, I mean, you make it nowhere in 3 hours.
Yeah.
You're barely to St. Louis.
Yeah. And we don't have trains.
Yeah.
That's
which is wild.
We do.
That's a whole other thing. I know. We need some high speed rail.
All right. So let's circle back to this bucket list.
Yes.
And what the bucket list plus one. And let's talk about some of the other items that were in here.
Mm-hmm.
There's a kind of a little bit of an instruction manual that goes through how to do it. You guys want to talk about like what's in here? Or step one is talk.
Yep. Yeah.
That's the number one thing. Talk to your family.
Open up, have that difficult conversation. It really isn't that hard. Just once you get the ball rolling, it's kind of fun to talk about. It's not all negative. And that's the thing that I'm learning going through this. It's like, okay, we're going to have that talk. And then when Rachel and I started talking about this isn't so bad. I think we just have such a bad rap or mindset talking about these things. It's actually kind of fun. It's like, oh yeah, bucket list. Oh, what do you want? Oh yeah, we're on the same page. Cremation. Okay.
Well, my kids hate it.
Oh no!
Now they hate it a couple of times, and I haven't done it like formal because what we're planning on doing is we're going through estate planning right now.
Yeah.
And so we're talking to an attorney, we're talking to an insurance guy, we're talking to, investment people, and, we're looking at the business and the whole 9 yards and trying to figure out what's going to happen if something happens to us. And so that's hard enough. But the couple of times they're like, if something happens to mom and I, they're like, Dad, no, they're immediately like, they're not going to listen. But we are going to have a sit down at some point. I'm going to have instructions written out for them at some point, hopefully. And they'll at least know what the plan is. But yeah, it's funny. I always think about, I tried to have this conversation with my mother. I don't really know how old I was, probably late 20s, early 30s. And she really didn't want to have that conversation either. Like she really, really didn't want to talk about it. The best I could get out of her was that she didn't want a traditional funeral. I knew that. And she implied that she didn't want to be buried. So I assumed that meant cremation. My mom believed that something magical is going to happen, I guess. I don't know, but it was a tough conversation. Have you guys had that conversation with your parents at all?
Not a full conversation. They're kind of like, we don't have to talk about it. They have everything in place, but haven't had the conversation with us. And I'm like, okay, I'm glad you guys went ahead and accomplished everything you want to accomplish, but now let's sit down and actually have that conversation, because I think we all need to know what's involved in all that. Because, and I mean, shoot, I keep teaching my parents about different things all the time. I'm like, you need to have a medical power of attorney. You need to have all these things. And they're like, oh, we don't have any of that. I'm like, all right, well, you need to get on that, because like, there's so many different weird
with
things
elder
that
law
can happen.
entirely.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my gosh. It's just a whole new world.
And no one wants to end up in probate. Like probate is, I mean, my parents had to go through that with my grandparents' stuff, and it took them like 2 years to get some of the stuff.
Oh, yeah.
It's like rough.
Yikes. Yeah. So it says here, it says initiate a talk about end of life planning in a comfortable and calm setting, chatting over coffee or enjoying a long walk. Illness and death is unavoidable reality. Conversations about end of life can help relieve loved one of the responsibility of making difficult decisions during stressful moments. So it's a gift, right?
It is a gift.
And I see that now. I didn't before we've started going down this podcast road, but now I totally see, like, I'm just really not doing my kids service by not getting on top of all of this stuff now. Help others understand what dying and with dignity means to you. And so trying to understand what that means for you, and then also what that means for your parents, I guess, for you guys. My parents are gone, but for you guys. And then talking through your choices and values with others may help you identify the person or persons who is best suited to serve as your healthcare agent, durable power of attorney for healthcare. This is actually kind of funny. I'll tell you this. So we were having to talk. Now, this isn't with all the kids. It's just with my younger girls who are 14 right now. And we were just like, if something happens and we're, we can't speak for ourselves or whatever. And, and one of the kids, you can tell she's just like, yeah, whatever whatever you guys want, whatever. And the other one, she likes to joke around. She's like, well, I'm pulling the plug immediately. I'm just going to pull it. Like, okay. Well, we know who we're not going to put on the list then, who's in charge of that. But I recently had to fill out this advance directive.
Okay.
And so I knew we were going to do this. And so I forced a couple of people here to be my witnesses. And then Sue up front did the notary, but I have it signed. It's official. I have it. I haven't given it to anybody yet, but I went through and I picked one of my kids to carry that burden. And we already sat down, my oldest daughter, Chloe, we sat down with her and just kind of casually over lunch one day, we were just like, if something happens to us, we want the girls to go to you and my oldest son, we didn't really say, we didn't point either one of them out, but we just wanted to see if they were willing to take them. Immediately, like, it was just no hesitation, like, absolutely, they'll be well taken care of, that sort of thing. And that, just the relief I felt just when she said that, I was just like, oh, okay, somebody is going to step in and, be there and, hopefully we'll get everything set up so, everybody's taken care of in the end. But it wasn't as tough a conversation I thought I was going to have. I haven't had the conversation with all the kids yet, but one at a time, right?
Absolutely. So you got advance directive, healthcare, who your healthcare agent is, your will, and your notary. You already mentioned the notary. Yeah. So it just kind of really helps you walk through that process and who you're designating with each of these, which is pretty interesting.
Yeah. I mean, it seemed like during the elder law conversation, they talked about you can have one person who's in charge of
like your finances and stuff, and the other person that's in charge of your medical.
Yeah.
Based on like who you trust to do either one of those, as well as who actually has the real knowledge. And like, you really have to sit down with them and be like, all right, these are my actual wishes for each thing.
Yeah.
Because like, let's be honest, you can say one thing, but if it's not in writing and legality, like,
that's right,
they have all the power to do whatever they want with you. And like, That's why it's so important to do these things while you actually have the capability to do it, especially like when you're talking with people with Alzheimer's or dementia or ALS or any of these Parkinson's diseases that really deal with like mental capacity. The earlier you can do these things in life and set these things up and talk about them, the less headache you have going on down the line when people start to slip and things like that.
Well, while I was filling this out, immediately it reminded me of the conversation on the podcast where we had it with Ruth Ann with Walnut Lawn Funeral Home. And she was talking about the medical condition that she was in.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, okay, her kids kind of kept fighting, even though things were looking pretty bleak. And she fought through it. And she was sitting in front of us telling
her story.
And you're like, okay, so how do I make sure that happens? There's still a chance. Don't pull that plug, Sydney. Don't do it. You know, that sort of thing. But yeah, it makes you really, really think. And in here, when you go through it, you know, it says, do you want that decision to be made by one doctor or two? And, you know, are you designating one person to make that decision, or does it have to be, and is it a combined decision, or is it a chain decision? If they're not available, who's next on the list, that sort of thing. So it's not only just figuring out who you're going to trust, but who you're going to trust
your
next.
contingency is.
Yeah. It's a lot of deep thinking. That is for sure. Yeah. A set of broken ribs at 90 something years old doesn't sound like a good plan to me. So, I mean, I can understand why.
You could pass. Like, they know, I don't want that.
If I'm going at 90 something years old, I think I'm just going to go, you know, and you kind of get to that stage, you know. And it's funny during that movie, The Soft Surrender, you know, he kind of talked about that. He's like, it's like having a good meal. And you walk away and you're satisfied and you're like, you want to eat some more? And it's like, no, I've really gotten my fill. I'm good. And he just, when he said it that way, I was just like, okay, now I understand. Because some of the people I've worked with over the years, you know, were in their 80s and 90s. And, you know, I was in my 30s, you know, I can imagine being okay with just wanting to, when it was time to just go. But you get to a stage that we're not at yet, obviously, you know, that you're okay with that. So I can understand why that's on the list.
Absolutely.
Instructions for pain and comfort. Yeah, that's, you know, getting into the details on that could be kind of tricky, you know. Like that could be really hard to understand what exactly the options are, you know, and what does that mean? And having a healthcare person in your life that might be able to help explain it to you. And
ability to withhold or withdraw feeding tubes. That's a tough conversation out of this list here. I'm just
and
like, wow.
Even like what scenarios you want a feeding tube or
if you're incapacitated, well, how long? How long are you going to be on the machines? Do you even want the machines?
And at what age
Life
do you
support.
say no compared to what age do you say yes?
Exactly.
And like, there's so many different scenarios when you really think about that. And it's wild because I mean, Bailey and I have had some of those conversations before. It's like,
what about in this scenario?
Or, you know, our kids are only so big. Do we keep fighting? Or like,
or what if it's a car accident?
And,
you know,
yeah,
that just
a lot of
comes out of nowhere.
Conversations.
And it kind of reminds me too of that gentleman. I forget his name now, but he was talking with his wife, and he's like, I want to be able to make the choice when I go. And I'm assuming he was talking about physician-assisted suicide. I don't know that for sure.
Okay,
but it like. And she's like, we're not to that stage yet, you know? And so I was like, obviously this guy has thought about that, you know, and he may anticipate what's coming next, you know? And, you know, I mean, it's a super controversial thing, and I don't want to stir things up, but you know, it's one of those things that I am sure during these conversations might come up. You know, they're like, if I'm incapacitated and I'm suffering, I don't want to suffer. So just make sure I don't, you know, and that's really a tough burden to put on a family member, but
Having
there's
it written
nobody else
down.
is going to do it for
Exactly.
you.
That's right. But if you have it written down, they have to follow your wishes.
That's true.
yeah.
That's true. Having it written
And
down
I think
does
even
help.
just bringing up those scenarios of, well, what if I get
And
this
this
disease,
is what I-
or
yeah.
if I get cancer, or like, 'cause I mean,
Yeah, if
let's
it's
be
a
honest,
prolonged
cancer rates
situation.
are just getting
Crazy.
crazy.
Oh, yeah. We learned that from Candy. People in their 20s and 30s getting cancer. Terminal
Yeah,
cancer. Unbelievable.
Nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah, nuts. Well, this is a great program. I really, really think
Take advantage of it while you can, because they're going to try to make this national. They're going to take it beyond Missouri. And so
absolutely.
Hospice Foundation for Outreach, it's on their website currently right now. Get it while you can.
And you can download it for free.
For free PDF. Absolutely.
And same with the advanced directives. Those are also free online for you to download and share with your loved ones.
Absolutely.
There's a couple of other little things on the back here where it talks about my medical wishes, where it kind of covers some basic checklist here, and then my wishes for final arrangements. So maybe you don't have pre-planning for a funeral or whatever, but you decide, okay, we're going to do cremation and we're going to do a celebration of life, and you can kind of get in and at least write down some things to kind of give them an idea. I was joking around with Ryan, with the cremation guy, that I'm going to pick all the songs my kids hate. But joking aside, I do it, a funeral probably isn't the direction I'm going to go because I just have been to too many of them, I guess. But I for me, it is like, I want people to enjoy something and have a place they can go and talk about, what memories they have and get some closure. That's what it's all about, right?
Absolutely.
So.
Yeah.
I thought it was fascinating how they have the My Digital Assets on there, because I would have never would have thought.
Oh yeah,
about
what do you
that.
do
But
with
I
your
mean,
Facebook?
Yeah,
or
we're
Twitter
on so many
or whatever.
things on social media. I'm like, wow, I didn't think about that. And handing over my phone to somebody after I'm gone and be like, here's all my stuff. Figure out what to do with it.
Yeah.
Like, what? Like,
Yeah.
Well, it's amazing we live in a time, a digital world where we can actually pass those things off.
Yeah.
And we have YouTube videos that last beyond us. That's kind of cool. If you really think about it, we actually have a digital, like right now, a digital memory that's already going to be passed on. That's kind of wild.
Yeah. After my mom passed, she has a phone that I don't know how to unlock, but I'm sure she's got something in there, but she didn't give me the password to it. So maybe she didn't want me to see it. I don't know. But it is one of those things where you're just like, I have billions of pictures and videos and different things like that, I mean, we're going to have the most documented
If you really think about it, it's not just-
personal history of
Not just little
any
photo albums.
culture
It's like
or-
everything's living, breathing out in the universe.
Yes.
The internet. The internet. It's
Yes,
just
archaeologists are going to think we were food obsessed, first of all,
oh yeah.
and self-obsessed because we have a million selfies.
But the future Ken Burns, it's going to be a piece of cake because just type in the person's name and here's all this plethora of stuff. Here's this video when they're in college, and well, for better or for worse, I suppose it depends, But yeah, it's kind of. I guess it depends on what they find or what's still living out there.
History now. No,
Yeah,
just kidding.
but honestly, I think as time goes on, our life stories will be easier and easier to tell because there's the photos that are just you could find and videos and social media walls and accounts, and so that's kind of I see that being a positive. That's something with AI especially could find all that stuff and tell your life story.
Yeah,
That's kind of neat. So. Living history, I suppose. We do live in a good time for that.
I'm really into Ancestry.
Yeah.
I've got a massive tree. Like I put this tree together, it goes way, way back, and it's way too detailed. But it keeps giving me alerts of, here's a document, look at this, and you're just like, and it sends me down a rabbit hole. But you have very little to work off of, but you can find out some
for
neat
sure.
things.
Oh, yeah.
What age that relative was and where they lived in whatever country it's from. And, I know way more about my genetics than I think most people prior to this stage know about their, where they come from and who they're attached to. But what it taught me is how connected we all are. I'd be surprised if the two of us aren't or the three of us aren't related in some way, somewhere back.
Going way back.
Well, going way
Absolutely,
back,
yeah.
but it's crazy. I had a lady in St. Louis reach out to me that we were genetically related through ancestry, like it wasn't like anything, anything different, but it's just like how distant that was, but it's still like it led back to the great grandfather, and it was just crazy how connected people are, and they're all over. Like, I probably have several here in Springfield. I don't even know.
Oh, I'm curious to ask. This is a tangent, so bear with me. But we have Wilson's Creek Battlefield a few miles from here, and the Ray House. Do you have any relation to the Rays that own the farm where the battle took place? I'm just curious.
I have no idea.
Back to 1861.
Yeah, I have no idea.
If you go check it out, it's the
should.
Ray family own the cornfield there, and
I will have to check that out.
It's really interesting history. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just something to look into.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Because when I heard John Ray, I'm like, I wonder if there's a relation all the way back to the Civil War around here. I'm just curious.
Yeah, I don't even know how I would find that out necessarily, because the branches are kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Because you can, the branches from you going down get huge, massive, right? Like, and the branches going up get like millions and millions of people, right?
Yeah.
So, like, but those branches could then break off somewhere, and you may not be able to trace it.
Or people change their names when they came over to the United States.
That's true.
And then you got to figure out, where did we go from there?
That's true.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people had name changes when they came over to the United States. I'm like, how do you even figure that out at times?
Yeah. And I mean, at certain times, like when I think it might have been during World War I, that Germans were in the United States were kind of,
keeping a low key.
Yeah. And especially immigrants, that were just newly here.
Well, my dad's side, the Ernst, they're Southeast Missouri. And when I was in high school, my great grandma, she lived to 105. And I interviewed her in high school when she was turned 100. And she said during war, 1905 to 2010. And she said when she was young during World War I, so like she was like 10 years old during that time, they could not speak German. They had to speak English because they didn't want to be found out. They had nothing to do with it. Obviously, they were in America, but like they felt ostracized speaking German in the 1910s, and then of course in the 1930s during World War II.
Yeah,
when things kind of went south over there, 1939 and 1945. So it's kind of interesting. But yeah, no, they spoke full blown German in America, and then they had to not do that. And it was just kind of, so she told me like what that was like. Like, wow. It's interesting. It's interesting.
Is interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let me circle back on something really fast. So in the movie, The Bucket List, so that's Morgan Freeman and Jack Nicholson. So there's a point in the movie where Morgan Freeman is talking with Jack Nicholson about like the main things he's wanting to do. And Jack shares with him, he's got an estranged daughter. And so part of the movie and part of the bucket list is them going back and him reconnecting with that estranged daughter. And so, when you're talking about a bucket list, in my opinion, I feel like there's always going to be a component, because we do this in hospice. When somebody goes on to hospice, our chaplain and social worker come out to meet with that individual and talk about the course of their life and what things that basically like a bucket list conversation, more or less. And part of that is connection with people in the past. Maybe there's an amends there. Maybe there's just a reconnection of some sort. But it's about finding resolution and peace and that sort of thing. And you find this sometimes in like 12-step programs. There's a step that talks about making amends. And so when I look at this bucket list, and it, you could throw this under life goals, you could put it under other goals. But it's speaking to saying, is there something where maybe I need to make an amends to somebody? Or maybe it's just I need to reach out to somebody and be like, hey, I've been I've been out of your life for a long time, and I want to fix that. Now, in those 12-step programs, the piece that sometimes people don't know about is when they talk about making an amends, you have to be careful, because who are you making that amends for? Are you making it for you or for them? And sometimes amends can do more damage than good. I don't want to get into the weeds too much here, but the idea of a bucket list, I think you have to talk about relationships when you're talking about that. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I mean, that makes total sense. I think reconciliation is important. I mean, that's a fact of life. Things happen, people get separated. It sucks, but it's realistic. It happens in families. And I think it's better peace for the person who may be passing or may be on hospice, and those days are counting down. I think it gives peace, but it also brings peace to the estranged family member who they haven't spoken to in years or decades even. It allows them to say goodbye and get over the hump or whatever caused the issue to begin with. So I see it more as reconciliation. It brings peace to both people involved in that type of situation.
Yeah.
I think it's just hard to just be estranged from family members that you haven't seen or talked to for whatever reason. And I mean, personally, myself, like if once I get to that point where I'm ready to go, I definitely don't want anything on my chest that I haven't said or told anybody or apologized for mistakes that I've made in the past. So I think it's definitely an important process for ourselves and letting go with, facing death as well as, moving on to whatever's next. So yeah, I definitely agree with that.
Yeah. I love this bucket list plus one because it really helped me dive into like the kind of frame yourself as in, I got a short time to live. What would I do if I had a short time and still was capable of doing it? And then, some of the things I don't, I think it's really about focusing on the here and now and living every day the best
to the fullest,
and not having regrets
absolutely
as much as possible. And yeah, I love that part of this, and I think this is a great program.
We got to thank Hospice Foundation for outreach, and we'll put this in the show notes and we'll put it on the bottom of the screen here, but hospiceoutreach.org is where you can download your copy of the Bucket List Plus One PDF, which is really cool. Get that conversation started. It's important.
Awesome. Now, Alex, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
We're going to probably going to ask if you come back more often and put your 2 cents in. You're great.
Absolutely. You've been a part of every single episode, so we got to have you on more.
It's fun to be on. So
we appreciate it.
Thank you all for having me.
Thank you.
Awesome.
If you enjoyed today's conversation, make sure to like and subscribe so you never miss an episode.
And we'd love to stay connected. Follow us on YouTube, Facebook, and on Instagram at In Good Company Elder Care Podcast.
You can also find us on X, formerly known as Twitter, at IGC Pod, and on TikTok at IGC Elder Care Podcast.
Thanks for tuning in to In Good Company Elder Care in Your Backyard. I'm John Ray, and I've been joined by my amazing co-host, Spencer Ernst. Special thanks to our executive producer, Alex Wallace, for helping bring this show to life. Until next time, take care, and remember, you are always in good company.